boringness of the surroundings. I'm having a quiet hour on the sofa when my son is out to a birthday party, and I thought, I haven't watched any movies or done any YouTube videos since the end of October. It's just been so nice to go for a few days and not have to do... I enjoy it, but it's just when it was, you must do this, it just takes the fun away. So what I thought I would do to tie off October is to tell you anything else I watched during the month of October that wasn't part of Shocktober. So I'm just going to run through my, what's it called, Letterboxd very quickly. Let me put on my screen record, then I can pop this over the top. Okay, we're recording. So, there we go. The 2nd of October I watched The Third Eye. I think that was a Thai movie, as far as I'm aware. When her little sister claims she sees the dead, Alia consults a psychic who opens her own eyes to the vengeful ghosts haunting their childhood home. Is it really bad? Yeah, I'm looking at the names. This is the Thai one that I watched. I actually really enjoyed that, so... This is my memory. It's the 2nd of October and I've already forgotten. That was Shocktober. 4th was A Star is Born at the cinema. That was incredible. It's just been beaten so far as my movie of the year by Bohemian Rhapsody, but what can I say? But A Star is Born, incredible. I did a individual review for that if you want to check it out. The Monster, that one was really enjoyable as well. That was about a mother and her daughter who have a very strained relationship. Who they're on a journey to drop the daughter off with her father. The parents have split up and the car breaks down. No, the car hits an animal in the road. I think the car's damaged or broken down, whatever it is, and they're stranded in the middle of nowhere. There's a forest and there's something strange afoot in that forest. And it's about the mother and daughter survival. So yeah, that was quite good. I quite enjoyed that. Those next few are Shocktober, Malevolent. Right, I enjoyed this one. Malevolent is one on Netflix at the moment. It's about a brother and sister team with, I think, a couple of their friends that run a, psychic type business. They go to houses and they supposedly clear the house of the spirit. They are crooks. They're not doing it. They're putting on a whole act. But the sister does actually have a gift. And in this specific house that they go to do their usual crookery that they do, the sister starts to pick up on things. I'll not say any more than that, but I really enjoyed it, really well made, acting really good, really creepy in places. It's just the sort of story thing that I enjoy anyway. I like my ghosty type stuff. So yeah, Malevolent, I would recommend it. It didn't rate very high on IMDb at all as far as I remember. But I liked it, so yeah. The Relic, What the Waters Left Behind, was that? I've clicked the wrong one. Was that one of my... No, What the Waters Left Behind is one I reviewed for Geek Legion of Doom. It's a found footage, it's Los Olvidados, it's Spanish, and it's based around it's not a true story, but it's based around a true event of... There was a massive flood 20 or 25 years ago in this particular village, and it was just left abandoned. And this young documentary team go back to the village with someone that lived there from the time at that time, and there are still things happening there. Still things there. I'll not say any more. I did do a review of this for Geek Legion of Doom, so I'll try and remember to pop a link in the description if you want to know a bit more about that movie. Los Olvidados, that I enjoyed that too. They were all... What Keeps You Alive? Yeah, they were all... Sorry. These were all movies for Shocktober. Captured was another movie for Geek Legion of Doom. Again, I'll pop the link below. This wasn't that good. It was a movie about just a group of young people and a religious fanatic that is determined to wipe them all out due to their heinous, sinful lives. It's found footage. Well, it's not found. Is it found? Yeah, it's found footage. It's done in that style, but it's not one of the better ones. I wouldn't massively recommend that one. Goosebumps 2, I've done an individual review for this on here with Isaac, and we both really enjoyed that one. He's actually right now watching it again at the cinema. One of his little pals is having a birthday party today, so they've gone to McDonald's. Why do kids love McDonald's so much? They've gone to McDonald's and to see Goosebumps 2 again, so that's where he is right this minute, watching Goosebumps 2. Next one, Apostle. That's one on Netflix at the moment. That was really good. This one goes back to 1905. A girl has gone missing. Her family sent, as far as I remember, her brother. Yeah. In 1905, a man travels to a remote island in search of his missing sister who has been kidnapped by a mysterious religious cult. That's exactly it. I don't need to say any more. He gets there. All sorts of weird stuff's happening. That one's really good. Pretty gory in places. Really good storyline. Really good character development. Good acting, performances. I can't fault that one. I really enjoyed it. Apostle. A lot of people saying it's very slow because they expect a real gore fest. It is slow, but in a good way. I think sometimes you need that extra time to flesh out the story and the characters. Those ones are all Halloween 2. That's the Rob Zombie one, isn't it? I've really taken a dislike to these since watching the whole franchise again. I like Rob Zombie's movies. I've said this a lot of times. I like his gritty style, but on having watched the whole Halloween franchise, they don't fit. He shouldn't have done them. I will admit when I'm wrong, when I say something wrong, and you know, I have always defended those movies, but in retrospect they don't fit. I love House of a Thousand Corpses. I love Devil's Rejects. Not so keen with the later movies like Lords of Salem and 31. He needs to change his style up a bit. He needs to branch out. He's got the potential is the wrong word to use for someone like Rob Zombie. He could do something amazing if he would just drop just this kind of like template he has of using his wife in every movie for a start. Always the same sort of South American hick, stupid, backwoods vulgarity of language, just repetitively when it's not needed. Just things for the shock value that don't fit. I've changed my mind a lot on Rob Zombie recently, sadly. I do really want to like his stuff, but it's beginning to wear on me a bit. Those are all... that one's not. I Think We're Alone Now. Now, I watched this one because Peter Dinklage is in. I adore Peter Dinklage. If you don't know who I mean, Tyrion from Game of Thrones. This guy is a really accomplished actor, and I want to see him in more things that have got nothing to do with the fact he is short. This guy is accomplished. He's a fantastic actor. We don't need to keep having play roles or get roles because of his height. I watched another movie with him a couple of years back where it's got nothing, you know, it doesn't even mention how short he is, which is awesome. And this one, again, it's not even mentioned. This is one about the apocalypse. We think he's the only person in the world. He's methodically working his way around, cleaning out all the houses with all the corpses, burying them all, cleaning the neighbourhood. He's the only person there. And then he finds that there's one other person, a young girl that appears. And they're very different people, but they try to like... There's nothing romantic going on here at all. They try to sort of like stay together because they feel they're the only people still alive on the planet. And why shouldn't they have the companionship? There's not a lot of dialogue in this movie. A lot of people have said it's very boring, it's very slow. It's not. If you like a good acting performance, if you like a good story, if you don't require constant like gore in your face, there's no gore in this at all. It's not a horror movie. It's a really good drama. I just love Peter Dinklage, and I love watching good character performances. I will not keep talking. I wanted this to be quite fast, but have I still got my screen thing switched off? It's not recording anymore, so God knows what what you'll get. So yeah, that's called I Think We're Alone Now. The thing here says, after the human race has been wiped out, Dale lives in an empty town, content in his solitude and the utopia he has methodically created for himself, until he meets young Grace, who wants to stay with him. Yeah, that's a really good story. I would really recommend that if you're not the type of person with a short attention span that needs constant in-your-face stuff. It's well worth a watch. Halloween, yes, obviously Halloween. I went to the cinema to see it. I really enjoyed it. As a lot of people have said, it's not a perfect film. There are issues. Some of the issues other people have, I don't have. A specific character that a lot of people didn't like and didn't see the need for, I quite liked that. Although that character would never replace another character. That makes it, I don't want to say too much. I didn't, as I've said, and a lot of people disagree with me, and that's fine. I did not like the choice of Judy Greer for Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter. Not because I feel she doesn't give a good performance or that she's not a good actress, but that's not true. She is. It was just a casting choice I thought was really strange. I know Judy Greer for comedy performances, and I associate her with comedy. And I just couldn't really get away from that when I was watching the movie, and it seemed like a weird choice to me. That's the only complaint. Oh yeah, and her husband's character in this was unnecessary. They could have just got rid. There was no point in him being there. She could have been a single mom and it would have probably been better, to be honest. They are all Shocktober. Rocky. I'm having my son watch the Rocky movies. He started boxing a few months ago. He's 7 for people that don't know. And Creed 2 is obviously coming to the cinema soon and we're going to go see it. I'm trying to get my son to watch the Rocky movies. He loves the training montages and he loves the matches, but he gets really bored at all the rest of it. He wasn't interested in the background or the, Rocky himself or Adrian or the relationship. He's only 7, but he does love the training montages and the fights. So we still haven't got on to Rocky 2 next, so we need to get that sorted. That's Shocktober. Bohemian Rhapsody. All my life, I cried so many times, as did most people in that cinema at the same time as me. Wonderful. Maybe if you're not a Queen fan, you won't have the same love of it that Queen fans do. I just absolutely adored it. I put a separate review. It's very long-winded, it's very waffly. Excuse me. I felt it needed to be done as I love Queen so much and it's such an important thing to me. Some arsehole started giving me a really hard time about the fact that I needed to Google the word review because what I had given was not a review, it was the synopsis of the movie. Really patronising. Now, personally, I've raised this in several videos. I hate when a person sits down and tells you everything that happens from start to finish, including spoilers, and then tells you that's a review. It's not a review. But I wouldn't dream of going onto someone's profile and saying, "Are you stupid? This isn't a review, blah 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 blah." That's just the way they want to do it, and that's fine. It's not what I want to watch, but why does this keep stopping recording? Anyway, I said at the beginning of the Bohemian Rhapsody video that if you just are here to know if it's any good, yes it is, it's amazing, it's fantastic, go watch it. But I said that I was going to waffle. I said that I was a massive Queen fan. I was going to go into a lot of detail. A lot of what I was going to go into you maybe wouldn't find interesting. I gave the whole warning as to what I was going to do. This guy still felt the need to come on and have a go at me because I was talking about the film in detail. He can piss off. So yeah, Bohemian Rhapsody. You can see my review there. A masterpiece. That's all that needs to be said. It was a masterpiece. Somebody's commented. Someone said I agree. Yeah, cool. 22nd of July or 22 July is another Netflix movie. It's not a documentary style. It's based on the true events of let me see if there's a synopsis here. Right, on Norway on the 22nd of July 2011, a right-wing terrorist, Anders Behring Breivik, murdered 77 young people attending a Labour Party youth camp on Utøya Island outside of Oslo. This is a three-part story? Oh, Cassie, right. This three-part story will focus on the survivors of the attacks, the political leadership of Norway and the lawyers involved. I didn't actually know there were another 2 parts to this. That's cool because I saw another one that was released and I'm thinking, that's really simple. Why are these movies coming out at the same time? So that's why, because, right, yes, okay, that's good. So I've got those two to watch. Anyone will remember that atrocity of what happened. This guy thought he was giving a message to the government of Sweden that they didn't want Muslims allowed into the country, which is just ridiculous. I'm not going to get political, but his point was he just wanted to do something that he felt was synonymous with what Muslim terrorists are doing. He went on a rampage and shot 77 people, injured really catastrophically a lot more people than that, and that was his protest about Muslims being allowed to live in Sweden, really. So yeah, there's another 2 movies to follow that, which I didn't actually know till I read that, so that's good. I'll watch those. That was actually really good, really heartfelt movie, really sad. Really gets it through, you know, the impact on individual families. Those are all Shocktober. Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is our movie for Three from the Grave for November, obviously because Thanksgiving falls in November. So we release that on the 7th of every month. Yeah, so I will have the full review for you on our Three from the Grave on the 7th of October. Frontiers was Frontier? Yeah, Frontiers was part of that as well, Shocktober. Cabin in the Woods was the last one I watched for October. I obviously watched them the day before so I can review them on the day. And the only other movie I have watched since the beginning of October is The Houses October Built, which I watched last night. This is one I think I'm going to say people's real names. This is one that Movie Massacre recommended. I watched it last night. I really enjoyed it. It's a found footage style movie again about I think 5 people. Let me just see. Let me just read you this. Beneath the fake blood and cheap masks of countless haunted houses attractions across the country, there are whispers of truly terrifying alternatives. Looking to find an authentic blood-curdling good fright for Halloween, 5 friends set off on a road trip in an RV to track down these underground haunts. Just when their search seems to reach a dead end, strange and disturbing things start happening and it becomes clear that the haunt has come to them. So yeah, and there's another part to that. There's a part 2. Well, not part 2, there's like a sequel, so I'm going to watch that also. So yeah, I watched that last night. That was the last movie. I can switch this off now. That was the last movie that I watched. Also this past month I have watched The Haunting of Hill House, which I have loved. It's just exactly my kind of thing. The whole ghosty. People were saying it was terrifying and people were fainting, and that's not true. There are some parts of it that are genuinely really scary, if that type of thing scares you, which it does me. Some imagery that's really creepy. It's not terrifying to the point of fainting, but it is pretty creepy in places. Fantastic cinematography, absolutely beautiful house in it. The acting performances are all spot on, perfect. The story's really interesting. I can't fault it. I really enjoyed it. I may do a review on it in a different video. I may not, but I thoroughly recommend it. I've also started watching the Eli Roth, the new documentary show. The first 2 episodes I've watched. The first one was about, the second was about slashers. I believe the third continues the slasher discussion. Basically, is it called Masters of Horror, or is that something else? It's basically a documentary show that Eli Roth is doing about horror movies and about all different genres, and they interview different directors and they show clips of all different, movies in the genre, and they discuss the background, the history of it. Really interesting, so I'd recommend that also. Goldbergs, I'm watching the new season. I adore the Goldbergs, but I have to admit I was disappointed with the episode with Freddy. Freddy Krueger is in the Halloween episode. I was a bit disappointed with that episode. I thought they could have done more with it and had Freddy in it more, but I love the Goldbergs, so I'll still be watching. Ink Master, the tattoo show, has started again. I wasn't aware it started in September, so I'm trying to catch up with that at the moment. I love Ink Master, so I've loads of that to watch. Is there anything else that has been on telly in the last month. I've stopped watching The Purge and American Horror Story because I was so tied up with October, but I will get back into both of those again. I do intend to watch the rest. And I don't think... Oh yes, I started watching the Sabrina, the blah blah blah, I can't remember the whole title. I was actually pleasantly surprised. I didn't expect to like it, but I do. The cinematography in it is beautiful. And I am quite enjoying it. I'm sort of like in and out so many different things. It's, you know, I need to like get stuff watched and finished before I start something else, because at the minute I'm in and out so many different shows. I watched season 2 of Meccan a Murderer on Netflix. It just it's mind-boggling what they're getting away with. They very clearly wanted to pin this family down, and it doesn't matter if they did it or if they didn't do it, they're going to pin them down for it anyway. Maybe this family are bad news, maybe they're not nice people, maybe they're a nuisance to the police service, who knows, but I do not think they're responsible for what they're doing in prison for. That's like, who am I to say? But if you look at all the inconsistencies and lies and cover-ups and everything that's going on, it's mind-boggling. I mean, the first one, I prefer the season 1 of Meccan a Murderer. It was more interesting to me, but season 2 is definitely still worth a watch. The female lawyer that they've got is incredible. That woman is just as tenacious. She's not going to let it go. She's going to get to the bottom of things. I have a lot of respect for her. So yeah, so far that's all I can think of that I've watched in October. There's probably loads more stuff, but that's the stuff that's at the forefront of my mind at the moment. Going forwards, I think I mentioned before, I'm going to be doing my weekly updates. I will do my first one probably... They usually come in on Mondays or Tuesdays. I'm not going to do it this week because I've just told you now what I've been watching. I will start it on the, like, not this Monday but the one after. I will be doing a new thing where I'm going to recommend something different each week. It's going to be a very short video. So I'm going to recommend a podcast, recommend a book, recommend a series, a movie, whatever that may be. I already know what my first episode's going to be. It's going to be a podcast I want to recommend to you guys. So that should be coming out this week. What else? The odd tag video I will do if they circulate and it's one that I'm interested in. If we go anywhere particularly interesting as a family, I'll probably vlog. But I'm going to be backing off quite a lot because I want to get the chance to watch videos that I want to see as well as do them and put them up. You know, I don't want to like oversaturate people with things. I will be, and I have already started this, unsubscribing from a lot of channels. I think when I first started YouTube, if a person subscribed to me, it was one of those things where I felt a sense of obligation to subscribe back. So I've got loads and loads and loads of subscriptions to people that I don't communicate with. That's videos are just always flashing up. So I will be unsubscribing to a lot of channels. If you're someone that watches my videos and you've found I'm not commenting, it could be one of several reasons. I'm trying to catch up desperately at the moment with different things. If you do a lot of long videos, I don't have time to watch a lot of long videos. I'll be honest, I will try and catch ones here and there, but I am not going to have time to watch really lengthy videos that go up on a regular basis. There is a lot of negativity floating about, I'm just going to say it, a lot of negativity floating about at the minute on Facebook, on YouTube. It's not something I like to get into. I'm not a us versus them type person, but I don't want to be specific. I just do not want to associate myself with people that I feel are a negative influence, people that I feel are mean, are patronising, condescending, whatever that may be. The other reason, and lastly, I am trying to make YouTube a positive thing for me. I started it as a hobby. I will be honest with you guys, I hadn't actually watched any like horror community YouTube videos when I started my channel back in January of this year. I had friends, Chris and Victoria. Their channel used to be called Two Vloggers More. It's now called Chris and Toria. They're good friends of mine. I've known them for a long time. and I just loved watching their like vlogs of their daily life. They did Vlogmas, which was a video a day for December, and they did like weekly vlogs, and I loved watching and following their lives. They live in the UK and England. I obviously live in Ireland. We've never actually met. We're meeting for the first time next year when we go on our holiday to Florida, because they're going to be there at the same time. But it was just a really nice way to get a little peek into your friend's life, and see what they're doing and what they're going. And I loved it, and I thought I'd like a go at this, because my life tends to be quite... I've left my best buddies in England when I moved back from England to Northern Ireland. I don't have that big a social circle. We have a child. We don't have facilities for a babysitter, so I don't get out a lot. So YouTube for me was very much something as a hobby to sort of get to know people that like the same things. And because I'm a big movie lover, and one of the genres I watch the most of is horror, I accidentally fell into the horror community, and I was amazed at what was out there. I didn't know in advance about any of this, and I've gradually got to know lots of different people, and I watch loads of different channels, and some people I feel I've made real concrete friendships with, not just people I watch and people that watch me, proper friendships, people I've come to care a lot about. And that's a side of YouTube I never expected to happen, and it's awesome and I love it. But also within that, I have encountered people that when you get to know more on different sites, and there's bullying that goes on, and there's nitpicking, and there's people that get mortally offended because you disagree with their opinion. And I know there was a lot of stuff going around about the new Halloween movie, and people that didn't like it were just getting a really, really hard time from hardcore fans, and it was just ridiculous. Basically, I'm looking to distance myself from being included in all of that, and if I feel like particular sites or channels or individuals are very negative, are always moaning, or patronising and condescending, there's a difference between people that do it in a funny way. I'll use as an example Drewski McKillicuddy. Drewski cracks me up. He has very specific opinions, and he is not frightened of letting you know what they are. But he does things in a humorous way, and it's very much tongue-in-cheek. Then there are people that actually honestly believe that their opinion is the only one. Anyone else that has a different one is wrong. That just, I don't know, just people that it's not easy to be around. If I find myself constantly feeling the need to bite my tongue, I'm thinking, what am I getting from watching this channel? If I'm watching a channel and more often than not my viewpoint is, oh, for fuck's sake, what are you like? Have you heard yourself? Do you know what you sound like? If that's happening, I'm unsubscribing. I'm not commenting, I'm distancing myself, because this is meant to be fun. And it's very easy to get into that mindset of there being a YouTube community and a YouTube like grouping. And if you like this person and this person, you must like this person because they're friends with this person and this person. And I fell into that gap, I have to admit. And I thought, actually, no. I'm not going to feel the need to surround myself with negative people, with people that just aren't my cup of tea, because they are friends with people that I do like. I'm being really vague, folks. I apologise for that. I'm not talking about just one individual person here. I'm talking about groups of people that you find scattered all over YouTube in all different environments, in the horror community, in all different types of communities. I just always felt the need of not wanting to say to someone, you are a prat, because I didn't want to offend someone that was friends with them that I was friends with. And I've got to the point where that doesn't matter anymore. People have to understand that not all of us are going to get along. Not all of us have the same opinions, and I personally am not going to associate myself or my channel with someone that has viewpoints that are very, very different to my own in a way that I very highly disagree with. It's something that I should have had the courage of conviction to do from the start. It's something that I didn't do for fear of offending other people, and it's something that I should have done. And it's something that I've done now. I'll be honest, I have cut myself off from several different places, and I feel better for that. I feel more true to myself for that. So yeah, I hope people that I'm still in touch with and still communicate with will still have that camaraderie going back and forth, because YouTube is an awesome place. As long as you don't make it political and don't make it super hyper serious, and I don't know, channels that bully other channels, individuals that bully other individuals, people that blatantly lie on their channels and say things that are complete fallacies and untrue. I just don't have time for it. I know people that actually even fabricate usernames and comment on their own videos and have discussions with themselves on their own videos to get their numbers up, and it's like, you have invented how many people to comment on your videos and you're talking to yourself here? What are you doing? And when it starts to get like that, I start to think, no, it's enough now. So yeah, I have cut back a lot. If you're someone that's watching this and you have found that there's not comments coming from me or whatever reason, you probably fall into one of those categories there. And I wish you the best. I hope things go well for you, etc., etc. But personally, I just don't need the negative influence in my space. I only have a certain amount of time for YouTube, and I want to make that happy. I want to make it nice. There's nothing wrong with disagreeing with people. I disagree with people all the time. People disagree with my opinions all the time. It's about the way you disagree with each other. It's about that mutual respect you have for one another. It's about not being an arsehole and then saying after, oh, no offence, or oh, didn't mean that, or oh, sorry, only joking. No, you don't be a dickhead and then say, oh, only joking afterwards. You've already been a dickhead. Just don't say it to start with. So yeah, that became rather long and rambly. I may make this into 2 videos. I may not. How long is it? Oh, I stopped it, didn't I? If you've got this far, thank you. I'll sign off now as my brain has just gone blank. Because it would just be so much easier to sit down and say, this person's a wanker. This person's an arrogant arsehole. This person bullies other people that don't agree with them. But I can't, because I'm not going to specifically individually sit down and name people. Because I don't think that's right, and I know other people do that on their channels, and that's not right. But if you're out there on YouTube and your main focus is harassing women, of bullying people, of being a creep to people and invading their personal space, of just not being a very nice person and just creating a ball of fakery around yourself, I have no time for that sort of shit. You know, I have no time for people that claim to keep it real and claim to be, this is me, like it or lump it, I don't care. And then surround themselves with a ball of bollocks, for want of a better way of putting it. So yeah, I'm going to stop talking now before I get any more specific. Thank you for listening if you have. It's a lot of rambling and I apologise for that, but yeah. Just be true to yourself, folks. If you want to follow a channel because you enjoy it, you do that, but don't feel the obligation, like I did, to follow people and to comment to people that are wearing your patience thin. I was in a position where I felt, oh, people are commenting on my videos, people have subscribed to me, I have to do the same. You don't. Better to offend someone and have someone think you're an arsehole than not be true to yourself. That's enough hippy dippy for today. Thank you for listening. Over and out from Lisa Lives.